Hello, lacrosse friends. Welcome to the Barrie Molson Center, home of the Barrie Blizzard. They will be taking on the South West Cyclops today in the opening game of the season for both Canadian Lacrosse League teams. I am Stephen Stamp. I'm joined by Ron Ruff, who will have the color commentary today. And you're a Barrie guy. You've watched this team play a lot, but they really came on last half of last season. But now they are a very changed team once again.
Well, they're not going to catch anybody off guard like they did last year. Halfway through the season, they turned their season totally around. Both teams lost in the semifinals, so I think both teams have something to prove tonight.
True. The Cyclops, of course, went 2-6 last year, grabbed 4th place, and went on to the semifinals where they had a pretty close game with their Sweekin Demons. The Blizzard actually lost by just 1 goal to the Niagara Lock Monsters in the semis. Niagara went on and won the championship in overtime. Our players to watch: Mike Burke for the Cyclops. He's the captain of the team. He was the leading scorer last year, and he had I thought a pretty strong camp with the Toronto Rock. He's a very talented player.
Well, he's certainly the one to watch for Southwest. He also had a great summer for Brampton this year, so he's a guy to watch out there. Absolutely firepower, and he can play defense as well.
On the other side of the floor, Shane Scott, acquired by the Barrie Blizzard. They lost a lot of scoring in Caleb Wiles and Jonas Dirks and Travis Gibbons. Shane Scott will be expected to pick up a lot of that. He's a shooter through and through. He's wearing number 23 because that's what they gave him. He said they didn't have a 32, what he usually wears, so he's going to wear 23, but he's certainly another talented young player. Not developed as far as Mike Burke has, but he can shoot.
Absolutely, and he's a right shot, and with Dirks gone and Gibbons gone, they'll need his right shot on the for the offensive flow.
Starting goaltender for the Southwest Cyclops, another guy who came over in a trade, Grant Crawley. He was the 3rd goalie for the Niagara Lock Monsters last year. They've got a wealth of talent and goal down there in Niagara, a bunch of guys coming out. So they've gone to Grant Crawley up. They gave him up here, and Southwest's pretty happy to have him. Angus Dineley has been one of the best goalies in this league for a few years now.
Well, and he was, if you want to say, 50% responsible for that turnaround in Barrie. Once he came on board, the Barrie defense stabled, and they were able to concentrate both on offense and defense and reach their success that they did last year.
Excellent point. Dineley making a big difference for them. Interestingly, one of their goalies, Derek Collins, has actually moved into the coaching side of things now. They've got a couple of young goalies backing Dineley up, so he's the guy that they're going to ride. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with the start of the game right after this. Going to join the national anthem in progress, and we'll be back with the game. Hello, welcome to the Barrie Molson Centre, where we will be bringing you today's contest in the Canadian Lacrosse League between the hometown Barrie Blizzard and the visiting South West Cyclops, a pair of teams that battled for a playoff position last year. Barrie wound up third, lost by 1 goal in the semifinals. Southwest came fourth. They also lost in the semis, so these are two teams hoping to rise a little bit above where they were. I'm Stephen Stamp. I'm joined by Ron Ruff, bringing you today's game. Hey, Ron, what do you think about this matchup?
Well, like you said, they were both teams that finished third and fourth, very close in the standings, and they both showed excellent accounts in the semifinal games, both coming out in the losing end. They'll both have something to prove out here. I'm looking for a really strong game from both teams, and an 8-game schedule. They better come out fast.
Yeah, there's not a lot of time. We saw that yesterday with Durham and Niagara opening up the CLax schedule. Durham won that game after just winning 1 game last year. Niagara, the defending champions, go 0-1. And I was talking to Matt Atwood, the Niagara coach, after the game, and he was pointing out, yeah, we don't have much time. We need some more reps, we need some more practice, but we don't have much time in an 8-game season to get things turned around. The first draw is pulled out by the Blizzard, but it looks like it's popped free. Ross Smith couldn't hang on to it. The ball still being fought for. Cam Monroe tries to scoop it up. Eventually, it's Eric Petrie, and a defender or transition guy and alternate captain for the Cyclops who comes up with it. He's going to bring it to the near side to Joel Shepley. In addition, this year, they actually drafted him a year or two ago, and he's just joining the team for the first time. Finished up in junior this year. There's a hard shot from the outside. Turned aside, that was Dylan Webster, another new addition to the team. Angus Dineley turns to the side, and Dineley is a key to this team.
Well, it's good on the goalie standpoint of view. You get a good outside shot, get your confidence going early. That's what us goalies like. They like to stop the first shot and get the confidence rolling here.
Here comes Shane Scott driving to the net, goes to the far side. Looks like he might have got it off the post. Southwest is going to scoop up that loose ball. Scott, though, knocks it free, rolls back into the crease. It's just whacked away at the last second by Eric Petrie. May take us a little bit to get familiar with all the numbers and get a whole top of everyone. We just got the rosters with the uniform numbers on Thursday. Mike Burke, though, doesn't need any introduction. He was with this team last year. He's the captain. He was their leading scorer, and he's an outstanding player. There's a long outlet pass, but it actually hits the scoreboard, and the Cyclops get started right away. Blair Goss, known more for his defense, scoops that ball up and buries one 5-hole, and Angus Dineley, who hadn't quite recovered his setting after hitting that clock.
Well, there you go. You say he's a defender, but he's also a smart player. Once he saw the ball was going to be blown in, he already started his movement towards the net, had his momentum going, and like you said, Dineley hadn't set yet, bounced it between his legs, and Southwest gets that all-important first goal.
Jake Kranz lining up for the face-off. He'll be going up against Michael Gillen for the Barrie Blizzard. Gillen, who had to take a year off, he was doing firefighter probation, so wasn't able to play. I'm sure he's excited to get back into the game. Jake Kranz battling hard for it. Kranz out of Six Nations had a chance to get in a couple games with the Six Nations Chiefs en route to their Mann Cup victory. He didn't actually play in the Mann Cup, but he was part of the season. And Barrie's just stepped over him back. That's a rule these guys don't have to deal with in the summer, but they get to CLax, and it's more like the NLL in terms of having that over and back line. So Southwest gets possession. They're going to try and work the ball into the middle, cutting across. Makes the pass over to the near side to Shepley. There's a hard shot from the outside. That is Travis Burton, and he is a guy that they are very high on. Still has a couple of years of junior lacrosse left in Brampton, but showed very well at the CLax Combine and is looking like he's already as their backup goalie. There's a save. Backup goalie Jay Priest was saying he's already got man strength.
Well, that's a good thing in lacrosse. You need that upper body strength. You're going to get pushed around a lot, especially the rookies. The veterans will test you.
Dylan Webster sends it over to the far side. Taking the shot. Southwest is stopped, though. Donnelly steps out of his crease to avoid the 5-second count, but throws it straight to Southwest. Coming in all alone. And Barrie, no, off the post. I thought he had it. Well, that's Jordan Critch.
It hit awfully soft there. For normally on a post, it would come pop right out. I thought it was in as well, but the ref was right there.
He just kind of lobbed it in there to find that little spot. Jordan Critch, who was in camp with the Buffalo Bandits. Jordan Critch, one of a couple of players here. Mike Burke, another, played with the Guelph Griffins, won a CUFLA Championship, Canadian University Field Lacrosse Championship this year, earning the Bagataway Cup title. That's an over and back.
No.
So it's Southwest
one referee
possession.
says over and back, and the other referee said over and back. So they're disagreeing, and they're going to get together for a conference. Sorry to interrupt there, Stephen.
No problem. We'll see. Oh, okay. The one ref is calling that there was a touch, so Barrie will continue with possession.
And a new shot clock to boot.
Ross Smith gives the ball off to Kevin Harper. Harper, a young addition to the team, who bulls his way to the net, passes it off. Shane Scott loves to shoot from out here. He's going to make the pass off here. And there's a hard shot by, it's by Mike Gillen. Here come the Cyclops back the other way, driving to the net. Shot turned aside from Brady Hesseltine. Hesseltine, one of a number of Brampton Excelsior's Junior A players that the Southwest Cyclops added to the roster through the draft, including Dan Keene, who was a very high draft pick. A lot of talent coming from that Brampton program and should really help this Southwest club.
Well, Southwest wasn't the only team. A lot of teams had to start their rosters over again. Big turnover in the CLax League this year.
Barrie moving around. Rob Koger with the ball. Pass right on the crease. Jeff Griffiths, but Griffiths stepped in the crease. Pass got to him just a little bit late. Rob Koger, a big, strong defensive player, but he showed last year that he can get up and help out in the offensive end as well as is necessary in the Canadian Lacrosse League, where players really do need to play both directions. Shepley took a look down at Burton, but he passes to the far side instead. Now it comes back to Jake Kranz. Shot comes from Shepley, bounces it well wide, and it goes way up into the rafters. Finally comes down, and Angus Donnelly looks around. He just heard it land. That came down with a thud. We heard it all the way up here in the rafters.
Yeah. Well, this is Barrie's 5th or 6th time on offense, and they haven't looked really dangerous yet there. With all the new additions here, they just got to get used to each other. I think last year they'd always count on Caleb Wiles to shoot from outside to get their offense going. Now they've got to work it in themselves.
Travis Bland to call him Boucher. Boucher can't come up with the ball in traffic. It's Kranz knocking it away from him. We're going to have a loose ball push by Boucher, and it's going to be Southwest possession. Boucher is a huge man and is a force in this league, a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year. He is the reigning Defensive Player of the Year. He was in camp with the Colorado Mammoth. I was actually quite shocked that he got released. They signed him for 2 years. I assumed he was going to be a real part of their program. But here comes Dan Keene moving the ball over to the far side. There's a shot just a little bit high. Dylan Webster couldn't quite find the range.
And there you see Donnelly look down the floor again, see if there's a long pass, but he changed his mind and pulled it in for the shorter pass here.
Angus, one of the really good passing goalies. He's a field lacrosse goalie as well with the Canadian national team. There's a pass in front, the save though. Kevin Harper going in close. We saw him shoot from outside earlier. Now he goes right to the net, kind of runs over to the goalie, Crawley, and gets a word about it from Blair Goss wearing an assistant's A.
Well, that was Crawley's best save of the day so far. First time Barrie's been really in free on their own. There's a shot that went off Donnelly's shoulder and the post there. Goes
straight back out to the Cyclops. Alex Lubchuk gets it. Lupchuk, a guy that they picked up in a trade, and he's somebody who played with the KW Kodiaks last year some games and looked really solid. He's really built for this game in CLax, plays a strong two-way game. There's Burke with the hard outside shot. Then he hustles back to take away the transition chance, because otherwise they had a man down the floor, Brad Levick. As it is, there's a break for John Mason. He gets a shot off, but is buried into the crease. Here comes Southwest. Burke heading back the other way. First quarter, and it obviously helps to have those young legs as Mike Burke is just going back and forth.
Well, that's the unique part of CLax lacrosse there. They have to play offense and defense.
For anybody who's not familiar with the rules, we'll go over some of them when we have a moment, and just let you know some of the rules that differentiate CLax lacrosse from other leagues. There's Koger going hard into the boards. Kind of got a grip of jersey there, but the 30-second clock will expire. May have got away with a bit of a hold on Travis Burton.
Well, once again, Barrie has to move the ball up floor and work the ball around to get a good shot on net. Their offense hasn't been very effective so far.
Yeah, just one goal so far. We're almost halfway through this first quarter. Cam Monroe, they were very pleased to pick him up as well. There's a shot from the outside. That hard one from Shane Scott was knocked aside. Burton battling for the ball with Scott. Pops down. Burton tries to pick it up. But then Cam Monroe goes after it. It comes out.
And right back in.
Boucher knocks it back in inadvertently. It's going to be no over back because there was no possession, so it's scooped up by Travis Bland. Boucher takes a hit, but the player just bounces off of him. That tends to happen with Colin Boucher. He's a big, strong guy. Actually, that was Shane Scott. He and Boucher both wearing the orange shoes. Actually, Boucher's just got the orange laces. Shane Scott's got the full-on orange shoes. There's a shot. When he played for the Durham Turf Dogs, he had bright green shoes. He's a play-by-play man's dream.
Easy to pick out.
Yeah. Here comes Southwest back the other way. Dylan Webster takes the pass. As Jordan Critch set a bit of a screen for him. Spanger with the shot. Spanger, another guy who was actually playing for the Western Ontario Mustangs at the Bigataway Cup. And he is an outstanding player, but he steps into there's a crease violation. Dineley gets back, makes a great save. Unbelievable. Dineley realized what was happening. He'd run out to be an outlet pass, had to hustle back, turned aside that shot. Oh, a big hit, getting up high. And we've got a penalty coming, but Spanger tucks it home. Dan Keene took the check up around the neck area, but the penalty will be waved off as Keene goes to the net and buries that one over the shoulder of Dineley, and it's 2-0.
Well, it all started with Barrie not being able to move the ball out of their own end. As you said, Dineley had to hustle back in. Initially made a great save with his left leg pad, sticking it out, and Southwest picked up the rebound, worked the ball down low, and beat him on the far side there with a bit of a move there. So that makes it 2-0 now. You
saw Spanger go into the net and a nice little fake, and just drew Dineley over towards him and then tucked it in over the shoulder. Spanger, again, mostly known as a defensive guy, but he can run the floor, and he showed you a little scoring touch there. Ball's loose, eventually scooped up by Webster. He throws it across, just gets it by Johnny Ray, and it leads to a goal, tucking it home. Making it 3-0 in quick order there. The Southwest Cyclops, that is a nice little pass by Webster and just a drive to the net.
Well, my count down there after the loose ball was picked up, there were 3 Southwest players down in the Barrie end and only 1 Barrie defender. So I don't know what happened. There we see the replay of the second goal here, and we've got the third one coming shortly, I'm sure.
Yeah, we just had the replay of the third goal. Ryan McGregor taking that pass from Webster. It was 3-on-1. Johnny Ray committed to trying to pick off the pass. Had he gotten to it, it would have been good, but as it was, I don't know if he had much choice because there was 2 guys over on the far side. He had to take one or the other of them. Southwest gets the ball once again, and they're really controlling play so far, up 3-0. And the loss of those offensive players is apparently so far hampering Barrie pretty substantially up in the offensive zone. We know they want to run. Brad MacArthur, the head coach, is a big fan of the running game. He loves to get his teams running, and they just haven't really had a chance. You can see, as you mentioned, Dineley looking up the floor to pass the ball off any chance he gets, and really nothing's been available for him.
No, he made the adjustment, moving the ball a bit to the side with the big clock there. He can't go down the center.
Mason goes to the net, takes a shot. That one goes wide. It's picked up, and this diving shot. What a goal by Brad Levick. Just as we're talking about the challenges they faced offensively, he gets them on the board.
Well, that's a big goal for Barrie. Levitt came from Durham, and I'm sure they're counting on his scoring touch as well there. He scored 9 goals for Durham last year, and that's his first one for Barrie there. So here we see on the replay there. Oh, that's the Southwester. That's the third goal there, just coming across there. Oh, I've got 2 monitors. Okay.
Violation on Dylan Webster on the faceoff, so Barrie and Michael Gillen will get it. We're going to have the officials time out. And we can go, we're going to throw down to the floor, I believe, where we've got some contests going on, if I'm not mistaken. Until we hear about that, though, we'll just give you a quick primer on CLax lacrosse. We were talking about the rules. The one main rule is you have to leave the bench, come onto the floor from the door farthest away from your goalie, come off the floor onto the bench from the door closest to your goalie, which means you can't have an offensive player run back and have a defensive player come off the other end and gain the length of the bench. You actually lose the length of the bench when you're doing it. So it means that you can't just have the offensive guys come off and have defensive players take over. You need to go back and play defense. You can switch a couple of guys, but you can't just go 5-and-5 offense, defense, switch changes.
No, and that leads to the running of the game that we talked about, and it's even more dominant in the second and third quarters when the goalies switch ends there. In the third and the second, sorry, let's try that again. In the second and the third, the goalies are at the far end of the bench.
Yeah, those quick change quarters, the second and third, can lead to some real run-and-gun lacrosse. In the meantime, Cameron Rose setting up on the outside, moves it across to the far side. Jason Crawford keeps it moving. There's a penalty coming on a slash on Colin Boucher. Southwest gets the ball off the rebound, and Barrie will go to the power play. 5:10 to go in the first period, and they're trailing 3-1. A big chance for them to get back into this game.
Well, not only to get closer in the score, but just get their offense on a roll, get some touches for everybody, move that ball around, get some confidence for their offense. It's really struggling out there despite having their goal in the last couple minutes there. Their offense just has not looked crisp so far. And there you go, there where you see in the power play one guy coming in late there. They're just not ready to play yet.
Excellent point. Mike Maudsley takes the ball. He's a guy who played for the Oakville Rock last summer and really showed pretty well. Kind of a transition guy primarily in junior, but stepped into an offensive role there because they needed him. Did a nice job of it. That pass gets away from Bland. But here's a drive to the net and a goal. Nice little shot over the shoulder. Brad Levick, back-to-back goals for the Barrie Blizzard, and he has been their offense so far.
Well, absolutely there. He took the ball at the top of the power play, made a little shoulder move, shifted by his man, and was open to the net, and put it over top of Crawley there for the goal.
So 3-2. We'll line it up again. Mike Gillen back out. Now it's Travis Burton once again lining up for the faceoff for Southwest. They've been rotating through some guys. Barrie gets control of the faceoff. It's funny, the little things start clicking and all of a sudden everything seems to roll for you. Barrie, I don't think, had won a faceoff until they got that last goal. A couple of goals. Now they seem to be getting control of the ball. Koger passes it off along the near side. Cameron Rowe gives it off in the drive to the net and the shot. Mike Gillen just missing on the far side. That ball's going to bounce almost all the way back out to center, taking a quick look at the shot clock and then letting it rip is Jason Crawford. He misses, so it's going to be Southwest ball. Crawford, yet another Brampton player coming out of Junior A. Very athletic transition player. Was drafted into the National Lacrosse League by the New England Black Wolves. Didn't make it out of their camp, so here he is in CLax. And he is another guy whose style should fit this league very well, and certainly should fit what Barrie is trying to do quite well. There's Eric Petrie with the shot. Dineley stops out with his stick. Johnny Ray gets run over and knocked down, which doesn't happen very often. He's a big, strong guy. Now here come the Blizzard again, slowly moving their way up. Cameron Rowe passes it to Jeff Griffiths.
Yeah, they almost looked confused there. Southwest was doing a mild press there, and they didn't know how to move the ball up there.
Actually, it was Daryl Robertson that had the ball, number 10, not number 16. They set up in the offensive zone. Critch gives it off. Now it comes across, and a quick shot. Dan Keene saw something he liked. got rid of the ball in a hurry and buries it to stem the momentum of the Blizzard. Dan Keene loves to shoot. He's very good at it, as you can see from that example.
Yeah, you don't normally expect to score a goal at this level from way out there, but like you said, he must have saw something. Maybe saw that Donnelly was setting up a little slower than normal, and he let it fly from outside and just beat him cleanly.
Jordan Rich getting an assist on that play.
We've talked about this game as such a momentum game there. Barrie had the momentum, and Southwest comes back and scores.
And now it's all Southwest again as they win the faceoff. Go down and get a great scoring chance, but the ball is picked up. Mike Gillen heading back down the floor. It gets knocked away from him and picked up by Eric Gilton. And here comes Gilton with some wheels. He's going to take the shot and score. Good decision as Brad Levick play on the 2-on-1 took away the pass. So Gilton shoots and scores. Another guy who was in the National Lacrosse League camp and looked good, but just couldn't crack a roster. But he does exactly what he needs to do here.
Yeah, he just picks up the loose ball there. Like you said, runs down, another odd man rush, 2-on-1. He elects to take the pass away, and he just beats Donnelly again cleanly on his left side there. Makes the score now 5-2. Now Southwest is on a 2-goal run.
Gilton and showing some nice wheels, and here's the face-off between the 27s. Actually, Johnny Ray taking that one, but Southwest comes up with it. Joel Shepley gives it back to Jake Kranz. He goes over to the far side, and that's Kyle Childerhose. Childerhose, yet another one of these very talented young players who plays in the Canadian University Field Lacrosse Association. And Colin Boucher has taken a penalty for absolutely flattening Childerhose as he cut across the middle when he didn't have the ball. Keene behind the back goes to Kranz. Kranz looked like he had a shot, but the ball is picked. He decides to pass instead. The ball is picked off by Rob Koger. And that will send the Cyclops to the power play.
Yeah, it was a good pick off by Kroger there. Donnelly came out to challenge a shot there. It would have been an easy dink shot in the empty net there had Kroger not stepped in and intercepted the pass there. But now Barrie have to go on the man short, and it's Southwest's turn to go on the power play and see if they can score as same as Barrie did.
Southwest leading 5-2, really taking control of the game in the first quarter. We saw yesterday a very low-scoring game, actually. Just 1-1. I believe it was after the, or 2-1 after the first quarter. But here, the Nets are getting a workout. There's the hard low shot by Burke. That one's scooped up by Donnelly. Ball can't be scooped up off the floor, though, by Kevin Harper. Eventually, it's come up with by Daryl Robertson, but he drops it. Southwest gets it and sets up again. They'll have another power play possession. Keene with the quick pass across. It's going to come back to him. He'll sub shot and score. Dan Keene gets another one with those low shots.
Well, you called it was a sub shot, just like his earlier goal there. He knew right away as soon as the ball was coming to his stick, he had already moved his shoulders in a shooting position there, and he let go and followed through, and the ball beat Donnelly cleanly there again. And there's another power play goal. So one thing we've learned in lacrosse is you don't take penalties because the power play can burn you. Unlike hockey where you're about 20%, lacrosse you want to be up over 75% on your power play.
Great shot by Keene. Boy, he can really let it rip. Face-off is scrummed, and it's going to be given to Southwest. So after getting the goal to make it 6-2, they'll get possession back. And Travis Burton flattened by Mike Gillen over along the boards, but holds on to the ball. Now it drops out of his stick as he gets up. Ball is loose. Gillen kicks it out to himself and comes up with it. And Jeff Griffiths went to go for the ball, but decided to hit the man instead as he'd just been whacked up high. Now it comes loose, driving to the net, shovel pass. Kranz can't accept it. Sorry, that's DJ Nedelko. Nedelko, yet another Kufla player. And he was the very last pick in the CLax draft this year by Southwest. And they weren't even sure they were going to take him. They were thinking about taking someone else. And they thought, no, we'll take this Nedelko kid. And he came out and worked his way onto the roster. Very hard-working young player. Jeff Griffiths now is going to go off for a penalty. He was still riled up about getting hit over on the far side of the floor.
Yeah, we saw some contact first. Boucher into the boards, and then Griffiths into the boards, and that's the one that they called the second one under the boards there. So, again, Southwest is going on the power play here.
Yeah, charging call against Griffiths. Keene. Across to Burke. They just move it around the outside. Webster gets it back. Comes skip pass to Burke, who slides across, looking for a shot or a pass. Nothing there. He shoots off the leg of Dineley, comes way out. There's a rebound and a shot. Boucher flattens the guy taking the shot. It was Brady Hesseltine. Hesseltine just misses that ball, and it goes all the way forward. Great body control, but Shane Scott just misses. Sorry, it's they're going to call a trip on Hesseltine. Great effort by Jason Crawford, hustling down. A nice body control to get the ball and stop on top of the crease and get that shot off. Here's Travis Bland driving down against Webster. Shoots, scooped up by Grant Crawley.
We have a whistle there. I'm not quite sure what they're calling. It's going to be Barrie ball, though.
Yeah, I didn't see the call. Brent McCauley, the crew chief, is calling for the ball, but I didn't see the signal to the bench.
Would it be too many men?
He keeps looking like he's going to start signaling. It's possible it was an illegal substitution.
So Barrie has pulled the goalie right now, so they're going to go 5-on-4.
Just 10 seconds to go here in the quarter. They're waiting. Now they'll start to move to the net. They've got to go quickly. Levick sees the time, takes a shot, and that is scooped up there by Jordan Critch.
Well, as young players, we're always taught to keep our sticks in the lanes. That's what he did, and he stopped the shot going in, intercepted it, and with more time on the clock, he could have shot the empty net.
All right, that will be the end of the first quarter. The score, 6-2 in favor of the Southwest Cyclops. I'm Steven Stamp with Ron Rupp. We'll be right back for the second quarter.
Academy of Learning College has identified the gap between education and the stressors of the working world. We develop customized programs for each student at an affordable cost. Students can choose from over 30 diploma and certificate programs offered at any of Academy of Learning College's 17 Ontario-based locations. Simply a better way to learn. Learn more at academyoflearning.com. Fire Monitoring of Canada is the leader in the fire alarm monitoring industry, specializing in the early notification of fire alarm signals to the fire department. Our experienced customer service staff will work closely with you to develop the best solution for your specific monitoring needs, and our CFAA certified technicians are qualified to perform your installation quickly and efficiently. Be sure to choose Fire Monitoring of Canada because saving time saves lives. Visit us at fire-monitoring.com.
Welcome back to the Barrie Molson Center, fans, and pretty exciting Canadian Lacrosse League game so far. The Barrie Blizzard at home having a little trouble, though, on the offensive end. Meanwhile, they've given up 6 goals. The Southwest Cyclops leading 6-2. We're about to get underway with the second quarter.
And this is a period or the quarter that we should see a lot more fast breaks there. The benches are at the far end of the defensive end, and things kind of get mixed up. It's good passing is very important to break out of your zone, but we'll see, like I said, a lot of breakaways coming on the goalies this quarter.
Yeah, it does tend to be a really fast-paced running game, and especially now that we're 4-on-4 with a player in the box for each team, there's a lot of open space. It could be a real free-for-all out there. Matt Spanger comes up with the ball, gets it over to Petrie as he's watched by Jason Crawford. He'll hand him off to Gillen. Crawford's going to pick up the guy off the bench, but they sent the wrong man out. Brady Hesseltine zips out there after Blair Goss had originally been going on the floor. Here's Hesseltine working his way in, falls into the crease. It'll be a turnover in possession to the Blizzard. Colin Boucher looks up the floor, nobody really available, so he'll just run it up. 21 seconds left in their penalty, then they will actually go to the power play. They've got to take a shot before that expires, though, so they're going to have to work 4-on-4 here. Travis Bland moves it across, the shot a little bit wide, coming off the stick of Cam Monroe.
Well, they'll 10 seconds in the penalty, so they will hold on to the ball there and wait for their fifth man to come out and set up the power play from there.
Yeah, Bland just waiting out there. Here comes the man out of the box, Jeff Griffiths, the alternate captain, and he's actually going to hustle over to the bench rather than join the power play. And Shane Scott will come out and join them. Scott, who played for the Cyclops last year, is there with the stick loaded, ready to go. Lets it rip just off the arm pad of Grant Crawley. Ball is picked up in the corner by the Blizzard. And Bland took a bit of a bump. He's going to head to the bench. Wonder if he got shaken up a little bit. Spencer James, the newly appointed captain of the Blizzard, comes out to join the power play. He'll go down low. Levick gives to Scott. He's going to shoot off the foot of Crawley. He's had 2 shots that were very close to going in. Monroe gets a loose ball and a fresh 30. Scott's going to let her go again. Another save by Crawley. And now we have a penalty coming to Southwest.
Well, he seems to be a little confused there. James, as you said, joined the power play, but he wasn't out there for his stick skills there. He was just causing a little havoc there in front of the net there, setting up a little screen there for a shot from outside there. And the result was a Southwest penalty, and Barrie's going to go 5-on-3. And now the unique thing is we'll probably see the fifth man from Barrie stay out of the zone there and just be there for the over and backs.
Yeah, Spencer James stays up high to be the outlet valve. The release valve. Oh, and there comes the man out of the box. They didn't account for him, and he comes in all alone and scores. Ryan McGregor, serving the too many men penalty as the in-home player, comes off the bench.
We're both shaking our heads there. We got to put that one. See that? We got to put that one on the Barrie bench there. They should have instructed James right away to watch that when he's coming out of the box there. That was simply on the Barrie bench there. I can't explain that one there.
And Grant Crawley just looks up the floor. He almost hesitated for a second, like he couldn't believe what he was seeing. Well, nobody was covering this man coming out of the box.
That and maybe just double pump with the clock there. He just didn't want to put it too high there.
That's a good point, because it is especially with the screen in front of the clock, protecting it, hanging down a good 4 or 5 feet below the clock. It's even a little trickier. You can't throw the same kind of pass you may normally throw, a longer looping pass with the guy so far open. And they go out, they do an over and back. When you're short-handed, you have to stay up within the low restraining line there. And Southwest just stepped outside, but that's a rule Jake Kranz will have to get used to. Ball comes to Shane Scott. He's immediately looking shot as he usually does, but he makes the pass instead, and it's a beauty, connecting for the goal with Mike Maudsley.
Yeah, you called it. He was looking for the shot. All 4 Southwest defenders, they were looking to play the shot, looking for a rebound on the blind side there, just cutting through, getting the pass, and almost shooting in the same motion there. One of the monitors there, we see it there.
Yeah, it's a nice pass, and the really nice thing is the timing of the pass. Shane Scott gets it to Maudsley. It was actually a little off target. As you can see, it's slightly ahead of Maudsley, but it got there in a time that he was able to grab it, pull back to load it up, and get the shot off. Jeff Griffith's getting his hand up into the face of one of the Cyclops. Mike Gillen steps in to help out. Dylan Webster's there. Play will continue, no penalties. Boucher tries to get it across, but can't quite connect with Harper. Oh, and a man flattened from behind. That's Joel Shepley, banged into the boards. We're going to have a possession call, no penalty, but they will get control of the ball.
There. One thing I noticed there in that scrum there, we saw Dylan Webster there. He was sliding towards the offensive end, and he had Southwest pulled that ball out cleanly, he would have been gone on a break.
Jordan Critch with the ball, moves it over to the right side of the floor. That's the shooting right side. It's actually the left side of the floor. It's another little cross thing for those of you not that familiar with the game. The right-hand shots tend to play over on the left side of the floor, and the lefties on the right side, so that they do have the head of the stick on the inside of the floor. So we tend to refer to the right side as the side where the right-hand shooters are. Nice job avoiding the over and back by Darryl Robertson, but it gets knocked away from him. It's picked up by Lubchuk. He comes down, shoots, just misses over the top. And you can see that Robertson knew he was going to get hit there and grabbed the ball and prepared for it. Took the hit and comes out still with the ball. Now he's hit by Spanger. No problem. And Petrie's going to bang into him. Petrie and Spanger, a couple of Western Mustangs, sandwiching him. And Robertson just holding on to it, trying not to trap it against his body. Brent McCauley, the crew chief there, with a close look. And here comes Southwest out the other way. Most of them are going to peel off to the bench. Mike Burke will just call to slow things down. There's a hard shot by Hesseltine. Maybe not the selection you want, as there was nobody else around. And that pass by Donnelly once again into the screen. And that was the screen below where the clock actually is. Burke's going to step out, make the pass over to Childerhose. His shot or pass goes away from both the goal and the nearest player, so I'm not sure which it was. Hesseltine with the pass to Goss is above him. Scooped up by Ross Smith. He starts to head up the floor. Now he's going to throw the long pass. Body blocked by Brad Levick. He gets flattened. He's going to get a possession call. Childerhose didn't realize that he didn't have possession of the ball.
And there's the back and forth action that we talked about there. You'll be hearing a lot more Stevens' voice than my voice in these next two quarters.
Yeah, not a lot of time to go to color. There's Shane Scott with a shot, and there's the outlet pass way down the floor, hitting Burton just as he's stepping off the bench. I think he still had 1 foot in the bench as he caught that. Brad Levick strips him, and here we go the other way.
Well, an adjustment Crawley made there. He threw that sidearm there.
Yeah, great point. It's a way to keep the trajectory of the pass a little bit lower. Boucher makes the pass on the far side to Maudsley. He is double teamed. Goss burying him. Oh, a shot just missing there by Kevin Harper.
Yeah, he did everything right there. Was wide open in front, and it just got caught in the bottom of his stick there, and it popped out almost like in a hook formation there, bounced right over the net.
Gilton loses the ball but gets it back. Harper checking him hard. He's going to give it up to Dan Keene. They move it over to the far side to Petrie. Petrie rips one across to Jordan Critch. He's going to let it fly. Donnelly watches it bounce off the backboards, goes to get it. Can't scoop it up, though. It is grabbed by Harper. He loses it, and he didn't have position, so the man's wide open. Saved by Donnelly. What a great save. And another one on Dan Keene. Robs a pair of both Dylan Webster and Dan Keene turned aside by Donnelly.
And there's another example of Barrie just having trouble getting out of their own zone there.
Yeah, they're not valuing the ball as I'm sure as well as their coaching staff would like. I mean, there's a tough situation there where you're battling for the ball, but you also have to keep a thought about your position if you do lose it. Oh, there's a hard shot off the post. Critch grabs it with the extended stick. They're going to get a fresh 30, but they'll make a full change.
Yeah, fresh legs out there on the offense, and the defense is going to be out there still.
Lubchuk has the ball, but that was just a case where Harper, working hard to try and get the ball earlier on that loose ball, didn't realize that his man had position if the ball did pop out to him. And there's a quick shot released by Hesseltine, but that's turned to outside by Donnelly. Nice one-hand scoop, but it gets away from Gillen, and there it is once again. Southwest comes up with the ball. Barrie just not able to hold on to possession. That's a big part of why they're trailing 7-3. Janes almost picked that one off, doesn't quite get it. Hesseltine's shot up into the mesh. Janes got his stick in the shooting lane. Hesseltine trying to say that the ball went off of Janes, but it looked like he just got his stick. Here comes Johnny Ray bursting out of the bench, shoots the save by Crawley. There's another aspect, Barrie. They haven't had a lot of transition chances. They're going to have to make the most of them because Southwest has been scoring most of the times that they get in alone on Donnelly.
Yeah, well, this is what we talked about, our player to watch, Shane Scott. This is where he'll have to take over this period. His right shot there coming off the bench will be important. Either that or Brad Lovick. And now we're going to see another power play for Barrie coming up.
An unsportsmanlike penalty to the Southwest Cyclops. I'm not sure whether it was Ryan McGregor specifically or just the bench as a whole. Eric Gilton turned to Brent McCauley, the ref, and said, "Me?" And he said, "No." And then said something else, and then Ryan McGregor ran straight across. McGregor was right beside him, so I'm not sure if McGregor said something to him as he went to the bench or if it was part of the coaching staff. They are announcing it's McGregor himself that got the penalty. Here's Levick with the shot high. Comes off the board straight out. But the shot there goes wide. Levick up top. Shane Scott passes it across in the sub shot. That one's turned aside as well.
And another fast break coming for Southwest.
Nice reach back and catch. Just shooting a little bit wide there. It was Matt Spanger. He's going to wave Eric Gilton down into the corner to kill some time. He'll give it to Critch. Critch, a couple of fakes. Now he makes the pass. It's funny that Travis Burton was kind of turned sideways, so it looked like he was actually a righty. I'm not sure Critch would have thrown it to him if he realized he was on his offside and had his stick facing the wrong way to get a shot.
Well, and that's why he didn't come down with the pass there. It was all mumbo-jumbo, for lack of a better word.
Here's Mike Maudsley running the ball across mid-floor. Barrie sets up again on the power play. They really need something to happen here. Scott kind of handcuffed his man with the pass there. So Crawford just passes it back out. Levick looking to Maudsley. He goes to Scott instead. Now it goes to Maudsley. He's going to let it fly. Crawley takes that in the midsection. Nice diving attempt by John Mason, but all he can do is flip the ball back over his shoulder. They will get possession in a fresh 30. Here's Maudsley, back up to Scott. He's going to let it fly and score. You talked about Shane Scott needing to be the man to get some offense rolling for Barrie, and he takes you at your word.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was a great adjustment by the man short in Southwest. They were putting the pressure up top there. Shane Scott just had to move back 3 or 4 extra steps there so he could follow through with that shot, and he beat Crowley cleanly there. Again, a shot further out than we'd probably like to see beat one of our goalies here in the CLax League, but with that movement and that speed in that ball, you can't fault him.
Well, he throws the ball so hard. You can see how quickly the ball is moving on that replay, and he puts it right in off the edge of the post. I mean, it's a perfect shot.
You can see it. I can't. It was too quick for me to see.
Shane Scott, normally a guy who would set up on the shooter position on the shoulder of the offense rather than up top. And there's another goal right quick after the last one. A great little play by Johnny Ray to come around behind the boards, behind the net, and pass it out. And Michael Gillen just buries it immediately.
Well, that's it. That's what Johnny Ray's here for. He does the hard stuff along the boards there. He makes the big hits, gets those big loose balls. He's not there going to be scoring your goals there, but he sees Gillian open there, and he makes no mistake and buries it on the side.
You know, the interesting thing, which I didn't even realize when the play was going full speed live, is that he made the pass before he went behind the net. He actually shoveled it out between the post and the defender and got that to Gillen, and that had Crawley going the wrong way. I think Crawley expected him to come out the other side. There's an over and back as Webster couldn't get rid of it over his head quickly enough, so Barrie gets the ball back. They're within 2, 5.5 minutes to go here in the second quarter. And it is 7-5 in favor of the Southwest Cyclops. Barrie with a bit of momentum. There's a shot just grabbed by the stick of Grant Crawley off the shot by Ross Smith. Smith comes back to take away the outlet from Kyle Childerhose. Now Childerhose gets the pass along the boards. He drives by Smith. A nice little move, but Donnelly hugs his post and turns that one aside. Boucher gets the rebound.
Yeah, that was a sweet move there. Beat him on the inside.
Here comes Robertson. He's going to go 1-on-2 actually now as he gets some help from Nedelko. Nedelko, who's an all-Canadian long stick defender in field lacrosse, out here playing with the short stick, still showing some good defensive chops. He'll get across, but he loses his man there. And Monroe streaks to the net, gets a shot off. Everyone battling for the loose ball. Southwest comes up with it. They'll move up the floor. Hesseltine taking his time, seeing what develops. Cran's trying to set a pick for him, but it was on the wrong side of Spencer Janes. So Hesseltine just waits for Keene to get out on the floor, and now we're going to have wholesale changes.
Yeah, the last couple possessions, Barrie's gotten back on defense a lot better and taken away that fast break from Southwest.
Southwest with the ball. We've got a reset coming. The ball is loose in the corner. Webster can't play it because he went through the crease. He waits for somebody to touch it. Now he can, so he taps it back. Smart play by Dylan Webster, another one of those Brampton Junior Excelsiors grads. There's a shot from the outside. Catches Donnelly up high, just under the throat. He knocks it down.
Yeah, he's just.
Now we're going to take the official. Yeah, they're going to see if he's okay, and we'll take the officials' timeout with 3:42 to go here in the second quarter. It comes at the first stoppage after the 7.5-minute mark. That's not a goal. I guess we haven't had many of those.
No.
We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back with the remainder of the second quarter of CLax action.
for a new promotion. Throw in your hat.
So, the first person to bring, I'm just trying to open this here. Okay, so the first person to bring a Tic Tac will be going home with a free prize if you find Frostbite at the merchandise table in the concourse.
Right there, Tatalka.
Back underway. 3.5 minutes and a bit to go in the second quarter. 7-5 for Southwest. Barrie has really battled back into this one. There's a pass from Koger across to Levick. They're starting to move the ball quickly. Shane Scott rolls across the top and shoots as he's flattened by Spanger, but it goes in. Spanger was looking for the pass, but Grant Crawley just lost control of that rebound, and Shane Scott has himself another goal.
Well, there's a lot of momentum on that ball, and it just kept on rolling towards the net. And as you said, Crawley turned around as seeing it rolling in, and he just couldn't scoop it by in time there. Maybe his own momentum from his body turning helped the ball roll faster in.
Yeah, you're right. The ref was just in the way, but you can see that as Crawley reached around behind him, it looked like his hand actually hit the ball and knocked it into the net. Webster comes up with the face-off. Southwest down to just a 1-goal lead. Will take possession of the ball. The pass over to the near side to Jordan Critch. Hesseltine gives it over to Keene. Keene goes down into the corner to Burke. It's a trio. This is actually 4 former Brampton Excelsiors junior players on the floor. Mike Burke graduated a few years ago, but the other's more recent. Now hustling up the floor, Mike Maudsley will just loft it over to Griffiths. That's saved by Crawley. Rolls all the way back. Nice hustle by Gillen to get to the ball and keep possession with Barrie. Griffiths makes the pass to a cutter. That's Cam Monroe who passes it across, and the shot by a diving Jason Crawford goes wide. Southwest comes back up the other way.
Yeah, and a big loose ball there by Dylan Webster. Otherwise, Barrie would have had an open net to tie the game there.
Mike Burke slowing things down a bit. Southwest again taking their time, changing things up. I think they actually didn't get caught with too many men on the floor because they had 2 players heading over towards the bench and already had 4 offensive players in the zone. There's Burton fighting for it, but Monroe comes up with the ball. Jason Crawford calls for it and takes it around mid-floor. Now the Blizzard will make some changes. Harper heads off to clear out, and the pass is made over to John Mason. Mason, everything just kind of opens up for him. He goes to the net, but Crawley hugs the post and makes the save.
Yeah, there wasn't much of a shot there. Crawley didn't have to move to make that save.
Oh, it's missed, but tapped ahead. Nice play by Gilton, and after he'd missed picking the ball up to just knock it ahead to Jake Kranz. Southwest gets possession. Jordan Critch takes the pass from Lubchuk, who really pays the price, or Kyle Childerhose, who pays the price as he is flattened. Here's a drive to the net. Nice little fake behind the back shot by Keene. That one's stopped by Dineley. We go straight back to Keene. He'll bounce it slowly up top, and it looks like we've got a player without a helmet on Matt Spanger in the corner. He and Rob Koger having some words. Spanger's going to head off while the delayed penalty is awaited. 6-4 attackers for Southwest as Blair Goss comes on. He'll cut to the middle. Now somebody going after Koger, and that is Goss. Oh, no, it's not. It's well, let's see if that is Blair Goss or is it Eric Petrie that actually went after him. They're getting in the face of Goss and of Rob Koger.
Well, he was determined to take one member of the Southwest team with him to the box there.
I think Petrie seemed more than happy to go and join him, and Petrie gets right up in his face, and Koger gives him a shove. And you can see them calling for both players to head to the box.
Yeah, I think that all started what you said, paying the price there on the boards there. It was Koger that made the big hit. He actually turned to the referee and saw if there was a penalty being called or not, and then went back to his defensive position in front of the net.
That's when you kind of give it away.
Yeah.
So Koger takes a pair of roughing minors, and Petrie takes 2 minutes for roughing. So Koger should have 4 minutes up on the board. Petrie 2. So we will be 4-on-4 for the final 50 seconds of the first half, which is very close. After Southwest has gotten out to a 5-2 lead, the Blizzard have scored the last 4 goals. Mike Maudsley, John Mason, Johnny Ray, and Shane Scott all connecting. I think there might be a mistake on one of those. I thought because Scott obviously had one earlier.
Yeah, Scott's got at least 2 goals by my count there.
Well, he had the one that ripped in off the post, and then he had the one that trickled in.
Yeah.
Which is the one they've given him credit for. Have to have a chat with the scorekeepers and get that one sorted out. Here we go. We're back underway. Another man has gone into the box to serve, I guess, to serve a penalty for Koger. Not sure why he can't just serve his own 4 minutes. Unless he got 10 as well. There's Burke with the pass across. Gets it back. Goes down low in the quick stick by Critch. Saved by Donnelly. I'm not sure it was going in anyway. I think it was going to hit the side of the net. Spencer James, swim move through 2 men. Passed another one. Great job by the captain, Spencer James. Gets to the Levick. Here comes Barrie. The shot saved by Grant Crawley, who's been very solid for the Cyclops under a barrage in this second quarter. Just 11 seconds to go. Southwest has to get a move on to get a shot. I'm not sure they realize Dan Keene with the ball gets it over to Hesseltine. He's going to let it fly maybe a little early, actually, with about 3 seconds to go. Still had time to look. So they went from being too lackadaisical to maybe being a little bit rushed.
Well, it's no doubt the instructions said hurried up, and that's what he did.
He got the shot off, but they still hold a 7-6 lead. The Southwest Cyclops up by 1 over the Barrie Blizzard in this Canadian Lacrosse League matchup. I'm Stephen Stamp with Ron Ruff, bringing you this CLax game from the Barrie Molson Center. Thanks for being with us. We will take a break for halftime. We'll be back with the third quarter.
Youth lacrosse players, come play like a pro with Junior CLax. Want to play winter box lacrosse in the same great venues as the pros? Well, here's your chance. CLax operates a winter box lacrosse league for kids. Divisions range from U9 to the Prospect Division, or U18. Teams are located in Barrie, Oshawa, Niagara, Six Nations, and Paris, with games being played on the same days as the pros. Be sure you get yourself registered today, as the season starts January 2015. For more information, please visit CanadianLacrosse.com and come play like a pro.
All right, fans, it's T-shirt time. Our game crew and Frostbite will be shooting.
We're going to throw it to the floor to Stephanie. She's got a T-shirt contest. T-shirt throw in the floor.
Gotta stand up, wave to Frostbite.
All right, welcome back to the Barrie Molson Center. I am Stephen Stamp, joined by Ron. I almost called you John Ruff. Ron Ruff, bringing you this Canadian Lacrosse League game between the South West Cyclops, who have 7 goals, and the hometown Barrie Blizzard, who have 6. It was starting to look like a bit of a blowout. It was 7-2, and then 4 straight goals by the Barrie Blizzard. 2 of them by Shane Scott made it very close.
Well, it was a turnaround, and that one goal that Southwest did score is the one that we thought was a bit of a mess up on the Barrie bench. That let the player come out of the penalty box and directly to the goal, getting that long pass. So it could easily be 6-6 going to the third quarter.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, and not only, I mean, they were 5-on-3 at that point. That was the 4th man coming in. It wasn't even the 5th man. So that, I mean, I'm sure the coaches were just looking at each other like, what did we just do?
Yeah.
Mike Gillen making his way to center floor to take the face-off. Nobody from the Southwest team there yet. Now Dylan Webster's heading over. Everyone's kind of coming out at the last second, or some people coming out at the last second. Brent McCauley having a word with Brad MacArthur, the Barrie head coach.
Well, Barrie still should be short-handed there. They don't have the score. They had time on the clock yet, but I think it's another 10, minute 10. Is that with about 50 seconds? I thought they got the penalties. So
yeah, it should be. They just called too many men on the floor because they should only have 4 men each. Because Eric Petrie and Rob Koger are in the penalty box. Remember, there's the kerfuffle. Koger had taken the original penalty before the half, about 30 seconds to go or so. And then Eric Petrie ran over to confront him about the hit. And they went up, Koger taking 4 and Petrie taking 2, but they should both be 4. They should be 4-on-4, but now it's 5-on-3. And I am flummoxed about what is happening. I'm not following.
Yeah. No, Barrie does have 2 men in the two players in the penalty box, but I thought one was going to serve Kruger's penalty.
But Koger took 2 minors, which should have been gone back to back, and they showed 4 minutes of time for him. So Petrie and Koger are still in there, and then there's another player in.
Well, Barrie has 4 players out there now. So.
Meanwhile, Michael Gillen has hurt himself. He hobbles to the bench, and an outside shot taken by Dan Keane, saved by Donnelly. And checking him is Darryl Robertson all over him, but Keane gets away with a little help. Burke passes to Webster, down to Critch. Hits the cutter, nice play, but Keane is turned aside by Donnelly. Robertson looking to push the pace, even though they're short-handed, put it right on the stick of Jason Crawford. It just bounced away from him. There's a shot at the other end of the floor by Mike Burke. Donnelly with another save. He has been clutch for Barrie in the second quarter and here into the third. That rolls to him at the edge of the crease. He scoops it up. Hesseltine goes after it, but Donnelly gets it. Here comes Levick pushing it up the other way.
And now we're all even 5-on-5, so the confusion is off.
I don't know. I'm still feeling confused, Ron. We are 5-on-5. Everything's set, but Petrie and Koger still over in the penalty box. They must have gotten 10-minute misconduct penalties. That's the only thing I can think of that would make sense. So we're going to go with that it was 10-minute misconducts. They are serving those, and we are back to 5-on-5 with all the minor penalties finished. Southwest scoops up the ball. Childerhose goes up top. The long outside shot by Joel Shepley. I think he may hear a word from his coach about shot selection after that one.
And just to remind the viewers there, the goalies have taken the ends that they had in the second quarter. They're back in the same ends for the third quarter.
Yeah, the long change quarter for the defensive players can lead to a lot of fast-paced, back-and-forth lacrosse action, especially here in the Canadian Lacrosse League, where you really can't just take your offensive guys out and save the length of the bench on defense. Here comes Southwest in the offensive zone. Keane kind of sidestepping. He's watched by Maudsley. Gets it across to Giltonen. Back over to Keane, and Spanger setting a pick as well as Giltonen. Critch takes the ball. Wearing his Buffalo Bandits helmet. He scores! Had Donnelly going to his right, brought it back to the left of Donnelly. Just in past his shoulder and under the post. Perfect shot by Jordan Critch.
Well, a couple moves there about his shoulders, shifting to the left, shifting to the right there. and then beating the Barrie goalie Angus Dinley cleanly there up high. There we just see the shift there and the move and the shot, and then you see the back of the net move there.
Just enough of a pick by Eric Gilton and to help spring him free. And that's a lesson for young lacrosse players to take. That doesn't have to be, you don't have to knock a guy down when you're setting a pick.
No, just plant your feet there and give your forward there that extra lane to the net. One step is all they need.
There's Webster off the post. He just avoided a hit by Colin Boucher and carried on. Smart little play to slip the body check.
I was going to say that was the smartest move he made today there.
Yeah. Boucher has been known to flatten a lot of men. Here in National Lacrosse League, Major Series Lacrosse, he is a big, strong guy who loves to hit. Little tug on the jersey by Lubchuk on Brad Levick. No call. He just kind of pulled him back to him in that one. Spencer James will take it and slow things down a little bit for Barrie as they get some changes. Levick's going to just drive to the net. A lot of movement with the stick and a bit of a deceptive shot, but it was stopped by Crawley. Here we come the other way. Childerho's looking for a pass, but it's going to be a shot by Hesseltine instead. He can't bury it. Robertson has a little trouble with a pass from Dineley, and there's Kranz right on top of him. They've got to get it over the line in 10 seconds. They're getting close to it. Just makes it with about a half a second to spare. He's going to throw it to the far side, the near side to Cam Monroe, the far side from him. There's rolling off the check as Mason gets the shot a little bit high over the net. Jake Kranz comes up with it, tosses it over, and here come the Cyclops again in the stick of Dylan. So now goes to Matt Spanger. Now comes over to Jordan Critch. He goes up top. Petrie just keeps the ball moving. A little head direction by Dan Keene, then passes it off to Critch. He's driving to the middle of it where he scored from last time, just a little further out. Misses the net this time. Big shoulder by Mason, but Critch comes up with the ball. Nice pass to Keene, who scores just before Monroe hits him. Perfect timing for Jordan Critch, hitting the cutter down the middle, right in stride.
Yeah, you said it, right in stride there. Keene just picked up that ball and away he went there. Didn't have to change his momentum or anything, right to the net there. All he did is just a quick shot. It wasn't even a hard shot. It was just fast and accurate.
8-6, 9-6 that is. Critch getting one, now Keene. That ball batted ahead, but not far enough, so it's picked up by the Blizzard. Nice catch. Then he's checked down from behind. Ross Smith loses control of the ball, but as Southwest picks it up, they will go to a penalty. Formerly penalized players Petrie and Koger are now out of the penalty box. So they clearly didn't have 10 minutes, so I give up. They had something, and now they're out.
Well, what I can tell you now, Barrie has the power play, and it's going to be for 2 minutes or less.
Yes. And with Southwest getting the last 2 goals, Barrie's going to want to get back into this one. And, it's the first game of the season, but already you can just look at the way the teams are stacking up, the way that the lineups are improving, all the talent that's been added to this league. And you know that every game is going to be important when it comes to playoff standing. One team in this 5-team loop will miss the playoffs. And it is going to be very painful for whoever that is, because I think every team feels like they have a good roster that can legitimately compete for a championship.
Well, both our semifinal games last season were very tight, so it'll tell you like every game is important.
Mason with the ball on the hidden ball trick. It looked like it worked on some people, but I think Crawley, the goalie, was ready for it. The shot goes wide anyway. It sails up into the bench of the Blizzard. But here comes Critch all alone, scores past Angus Dineley. And Dineley is just thinking, okay, I know it's the third quarter, but somebody can come back and play defense.
Well, yeah, there was a delay there getting the ball into play there. Barrie should have been back on that. That's on the players there. They've got to come back. They got to look behind them. They got to communicate with each other there. And Barrie's hard work to get back into the game. They were down by 4 after the 1 quarter. They made it a 1-goal game. Now they're back down by 4 again there in just over 5 minutes of play.
And it does seem to take a lot more energy to come back from a lead like that than to build it. Southwest is getting energized, and Barrie's going to have to expend a lot of effort to get back into this one. And how many times can you dig yourself out of a hole? We'll see if the second time will work for them. Southwest, though, takes control off the faceoff, has possession. We're going to have a moving pick call, I believe. Long outlet pass. Barrie trying to get the ball up to Levick. Doesn't quite connect. Ross Smith couldn't get it quite far enough for him. Here comes the pass the other way. That one's knocked down by Mike Gillen, denying Blair Goss a chance. So long pass is not working out in those instances. There's Goss playing some tough defense. Ball comes across to Levick. Blizzard still on the power play. Shane Scott will let her rip off of Crawley and may have caught the post as well. Didn't see if that one got through. There's the pass and the quick stick by Smith on the far side. Levick couldn't come up with a loose ball, but he does tie up Gilton and stick, allowing Barrie to get the ball. There's no over and back. So Barrie maintains possession and gets a fresh 30. They're going to say that a Southwest player knocked the ball or at least controlled it. That shot's going to come over and back, though, all the way to Donnelly, and Southwest will get the ball.
Yeah, I think the first time the Southwest player actually kicked the ball out of the Barrie player's stick, and that's what caused it to go over. But that time was just a missed shot, and there Southwest takes possession down in the Barrie end.
They're going to slow things down, try and kill as much of this 30 seconds as they can. Actually, there's only a few seconds left in the penalty. Here he comes. And heads straight to the bench. Nice hustle by Ryan McGregor to head over there. Childerhose loses the ball on the shot and gets flattened by Spencer Janes. Janes thinks he had possession or was about to pick it up when he laid the hit, but Southwest will get the ball. There's a hard shot from the outside. Donnelly gets it with the shoulder cap, then chases it down. Outlet pass. Here comes Johnny Ray. Ray's got Robertson ahead, but a whole sea of red jerseys back. Now he gets it to Robertson. He's checked by Lupchuk. Up top to Koger. Moves it to Mason on the far side. Behind the back pass. Doesn't connect with anybody. It's going to be tracked down. No, it's going to bounce away from everyone. Shepley can't hold on to it. It's a hot potato. Here comes Barrie back the other way. Shot clock expired.
Southwest never had true possession, and the shot clock kept on running.
Yeah, that's a good point, because Shepley, as you could see, it just kept bouncing away from his stick. Webster, diagonal pass to Critch. He's watched by Koger. Dan Keene with the pass down into the corner. Petrie will shoot. Well, that's Spanger. He's going to chase it down on the rebound. Flicks it back. It's an over and back as the shot didn't hit anybody. Spanger was wondering if he should play it, and it became apparent that there's going to be a scoring chance for Dale Robertson if he didn't. So he just flicked the ball back. So Barrie gets possession, but not in as dangerous a spot. Boucher crosses it to Gillen, bounces away from him, and it's scooped up. And again, bouncing out of a stick. That ball just doesn't seem to want to be possessed. Boucher gets it. He's able to hold on. Looking up the floor for a pass, nothing there, so he gives the short pass to Monroe and heads to the bench. Boucher, as we mentioned, a two-time Defensive Player of the Year, scored 3 goals in an exhibition game win last week for Barrie over the Durham Turf Dogs. Or no, I think it was over, I can't remember who they were playing. May have been Durham, but 3 goals.
Well, he scored a few goals last year for Barrie. He has been known to score a few. He's got a hard shot, but he's mostly known, as you said, for the defensive contributions.
I was talking to their coach, Brad MacArthur, and he was saying Boucher went to come off one time when they were heading up on offense, and MacArthur closed the door on him. Said, "What are you doing? Go play offense." Penalty coming to Southwest. Donnelly's at the bench. Here comes Bland as the 6th attacker. He slides down the middle. A little toss from Levick, and the shot from outside doesn't get through. 4 seconds to get a shot on net. Again, it bounces away, this time from Levick. He's just going to let it rip. No, he's actually passing down to Gillen on the crease. Doesn't get through. And a Southwest player will make his way over to the penalty box. And we will have the officials' timeout at the midway point of the third quarter. The score 10-6 in favor of the Southwest Cyclops over the Barrie Blizzard.
All right, we're going to throw it down to Stuffy again for another contest in the crowd there. Thank you very much. All right, throwing it down to Stephanie for a T-shirt contest. Thank you.
All right, hey fans, I'm here with Dan, and we're going to play some CLax trivia. If you answer true or false to the question, if you get the right answer, you'll go home with this lovely Barrie Blizzard toque. All right, so the question is, the Barrie Blizzard hold the attendance record for CLax game?
True.
You think that's true? What do you guys think? What do the fans think? Mixed reviews there, so you think it's true? Congratulations, you're going home with a Barrie Blizzard toque, and make sure to run over to the merch table so you guys can all pick yourself up one as well.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Congrats.
His massive white head on top of that big jersey. I was going to say he's wearing a goalkeeper's jersey. It doesn't. It looks pretty voluminous. Ball comes across to Shane Scott. He moves it down low. Bland looking for a pass in the middle. Doesn't get it. Scott. Now Bland gets it down low. There's an attempt at a quick release. Doesn't connect for Mason, who slid back up. Mason was going down low on the power play, but slid back up to the shooter spot. Mike Maudsley will pick up DJ Nedelko coming out of the bench. Southwest trying to kill some time. Kranz with the pass to the cutter. Critch hits another cutter, but he goes into the crease, loses the ball. It's still loose on the floor. Levick tried to pick it up with one hand, but Southwest got it, and they get a fresh 30.
Yeah, they can kill off a whole minute now with this penalty there. That's 2 consecutive 30 seconds.
Lubchuk passes to Critch. He's going to the net. Now he's going to back off, and now the pass to a wide open. Man, is that DJ Nedelko burying that one?
Well, simple case there. The Barrie watching the ball and not their man there. 3 players went to the ball carrier. And I know normally on a man short you'd go 2, but not 3, and they left an open man on the Southwest there, put it on the crease there.
Yeah, and Nedelko takes this pass. Jordan Critch sees everybody come at him, and Nedelko just slides to open space. Well, nobody watching him.
Yeah, you mentioned there when we were live that he was going to shoot, and then last second he pulled it back and made that pass there. That's, to my calculation, their 3rd short-handed goal. Southwest is really starting to pull away there. Barrie's got to do something here to get back in this game here.
They possess the ball off the face-off. Cam Monroe takes it back from Levick. They go back to Monroe, down to Maudsley. Just moving around the far side, still on the power play. They're just getting their 5th runner out now, though. It's Spencer Janes. There's a shot low, turned aside, comes straight back to Monroe. He gets a fresh 30. Penalty coming to Southwest, but they score. That was Maudsley finding the ball loose on the ground, scoops it up and sneaks it past the feet of Grant Crawley. Holding call, and the original penalty will be released, the one that Eric Petrie was serving. And now we will see Nedelko, fresh off of scoring, that's Eric Giltonen, takes the holding penalty.
And now they've got a 2-minute power play, which is good advantage there for Barrie. They're scoring. And what we talked about off the air there, Barrie's creaseman's got to get more involved. And there it was. They're on the crease there, being with a bounce shot on the wide side.
Yeah, you mentioned that Southwest was going to a diamond for their penalty kill and really challenging Barrie to beat them with the low man. And they really haven't gotten the ball to the crease man with a chance to score. That was Maudsley just picking up a loose ball. The penalty to Gilton, and as you saw in the replay, he just got his arm around the shoulder of the Barrie player as he came around. There's a hard shot from the outside. Bounces clear, though. It's going to roll over him back. As Levick can't get to it, it'll be Southwest possession. And Jeremy Talevi, their head coach, is calling his players to come to the bench and get some fresh offensive legs out there. So Shepley, Nedelko, Burton, and Webster out to kill the penalty in the offensive zone. Webster has the ball, running away from Maudsley and Levick. They converge on him. They've got him trapped against the boards. He slips out the back door, loses it, but gets it back. Nice job, and there comes the cutter. Oh, great moves by Burton, but Dineley stayed with everyone and turned it aside. Burton gets the ball back, and then he stepped on the crease. It's the problem with those long legs. He stepped back and just wound up on the line.
Yeah, there's not much room behind the net. One step, you're in the back of that crease there. Gordon's behind the net as well as in front of the net there.
11-7. Barrie still on the power play, though. Trying to creep back into this one. Less than 3 minutes in the third quarter. It's going by quickly. Monroe up top. He's going to pass over to Shane Scott, who will roll off the shoulder and let it fly right into the shoulder pad of Crawley. Nobody able to come up with it until Brad Levick brings it down. He gets it back from Scott. Goes over to Maudsley, the last goal scorer. Now the hard shot from outside by Monroe. Maudsley gets it and gives it back to Monroe. Down to Shane Scott. Takes his time. Hits Bland coming off the bench. They're back to a square, Southwest is. Taking away the low man, so the high man, Cam Monroe, rips it home.
Yeah, they made the adjustment there. What Barrie did to counter the diamond, they went to a strong left on the power play. They moved Levick and Shane Scott on the side there with the crease on the shooter. Monroe was setting it up top. And then Barrie, Southwest counters by going to the box, and then there we see the outside shot and the counter from Barrie. So counterpoint.
So after 4 straight Southwest goals, a second here for the Barrie Blizzard. And Monroe, that's just simply seeing a spot and letting it fly and hitting his corner. There's a melee along the bench, the Barrie bench. Eric Petrie and Jeff Griffiths getting after each other. Now Petrie just puts his hands up and then uses one to get up into the face of Griffiths. Griffiths shoves him back. Those two still going at each other. Koger and Critch holding on to each other. The referees are just telling the Southwest players to get over to their bench. Giltonen is heading over to the penalty box yet again.
Well, so far he's the only one there. I suspect the Barrie player to be going soon as well.
Now Griffiths may be just talking to the official. He is an alternate captain for Barrie. He and Colin Boucher are the alternates, with Spencer Janes being named the captain. See Mike Burke, the captain of Southwest. Matt Spanger and Eric Petrie, who's over there listening to what's going on. And Eric Gilton is being tossed from the game. I'm not sure if he has accumulated 5 minor penalties. We'll take a look. He's actually not showing any, which is a bit strange because he's definitely had at least a few. They're going to have to send somebody over to serve the penalty for him, as Gilton has been tossed.
So we're still not sure on the penalty, but it should be a Barrie power play coming up.
Barrie continuing on the power play. Maudsley and Monroe with the last couple of goals, and they've assisted on each other. So we're going to see what happens along the boards. Oh, there's Giltonen with the push from behind into the boards, and that's what caused this whole ruckus. And somebody gets after Giltonen. You can see him getting shoved right into the bench.
And Barrie's gone back to setting the power play with the right man on top.
So it is a 5-minute checking from behind major and a game misconduct. So that gives Barrie plenty of chance to score some goals here before the player serving it, Ryan McGregor, is released. Barrie 7 seconds to shoot. They're going to have to get one off here. Levick takes it and scores. Brad Levick just drops down low, scoring from almost the same spot on the floor as Cam Monroe just did.
Well, right on cue, you said he had to hurry and shoot. He must have heard you, because that's what he did there, down low there, beating Crowley. So as you mentioned, Barrie will still be on the power play with still lots of time on the penalty to Southwest.
Yeah, low to high, they can score another one before Southwest gets to send a player back out on the floor. That's just a hard underhand shot. Levick was looking everywhere but the net, and then suddenly turned his attention to the net. I think he may have convinced Crawley that he was going to be passing the ball. Ball will go to the Southwest Cyclops after Burton was flattened along the boards. He'll start, and he'll face the unappealing prospect of Ross Smith and Colin Boucher bearing down on him when play is blown in.
Is that the rock in the hard spot?
Smith starts laying on the stick, then Boucher comes in. The ball is loose. Boucher recognizes it. Can't get it, though. Great work there. Very impressive effort by Travis Burton. Now he's going to run into Colin Boucher. Boucher shoves him to the floor, and they're going to call him for the push. And Boucher's not happy because he was having his face mask pushed up past his nose by Burton and gave him a shove back. They get the shove back. Here comes the shot by Burke. He's flattened into the crease. That's over and back because they're short-handed. So the ball coming outside the restraining line. Barrie gets possession. Levick's bucket gets shaken a little, so he shakes it back into place. Everyone taking their time making changes. Southwest just waiting for the Blizzard to come at them. The score 11-9. It is getting close once again. Scott down low. Pass to the slot. I'm not sure Mason was ready for that one or expecting it. Levick winds up with the ball. Maudsley was open down in the crease, wanted the ball, but there's a player in the passing lane. So Levick takes the shot. Scott's got it. He's going to fire. That goes off the leg of Crawley. Flies up high. And the third quarter has ended. The Barrie Blizzard still trailing the Southwest Cyclops 11-9 after that late goal. So we will take a break for the third quarter intermission. We'll be back in a couple of minutes with period 4 to see if the Blizzard can come back.
Academy of Learning College has identified the gap between education and the stressors of the working world. We develop customized programs for each student at an affordable cost. Students can choose from over 30 diploma and certificate programs offered at any of Academy of Learning College's 17 Ontario-based locations. Simply a better way to learn. Learn more at academyoflearning.com. Fire Monitoring of Canada is the leader in the fire alarm monitoring industry, specializing in the early notification of fire alarm signals to the fire department. Our experienced customer service staff will work closely with you to develop the best solution for your specific monitoring needs, and our CFAA certified technicians are qualified to perform your installation quickly and efficiently. Be sure to choose Fire Monitoring of Canada because saving time saves lives. Visit us at fire-monitoring.com.
All right, we're going to throw it down to Stephanie there for our last promotion of the afternoon there.
All right, fans, it's time for the Barrie Blizzard Energy Meter. The loudest row will go home with 5 free wing coupons, courtesy of Buffalo Wild Wings. So let's hear you make some noise. It's a full row. You got to be loud the whole row. Oh, looks like some loud fans over here. You guys got to make some noise on this side if you want 5 free wings.
Alex Lubchuk out to take the draw against Mike Gillen. And we're underway right now with the fourth quarter of this Canadian Lacrosse League action. I'm Stephen Stamp with Ron Ruff from the Barrie Molson Center. Colin Boucher has the ball. He one-hops it over to Brad Levick, who now has a hat trick for Barrie.
And there we see the diamond again for Southwest.
Interesting to see if the Barrie Blizzard can take advantage of it and use the crease men. It's a very flexible shape, though. They're pretty active penalty killers. They try to get one to Mason, and a nice hustle by Matt Spanger to go out and get, or Eric Petrie to go out and get that ball. Spanger's heading to the bench. Petrie heads up the floor. Mike Burke tries to open some space for him. Timeout called by Southwest.
It looks like they're arguing that they're saying they didn't call a timeout. You know, two referees are getting together for another meeting.
I don't know why they would. 33 seconds into the fourth quarter, they're shorthanded and they've just got the ball in the offensive zone. They're in no danger of losing it.
The only thing I can think of is they thought their man was going to get trapped and they'd lose possession. But that's, you know, lots of possessions that come in the game. There's going to be more important possessions later on. So, I'd agree.
It looks like Joel Shepley is saying, I was going like this. You can hear him actually saying to his coaches, I was just signaling for a trap ball. So I think they're just going to continue play. Kind of worked out as a timeout anyway. Southwest will start with possession. 30 seconds they can kill off, the 2:40 remaining in Giltinen's 5-minute major for checking from behind.
Well, they're going to run down the 30-second shot clock a bit too, so.
Okay. Wow, they're running it well down. Just 15 seconds left on it. A pass across. What a catch by Shepley in traffic. Barrie moves the ball up the other way, though. John Ray driving to the net. Nice hustle by Lupchuk to take away his angle. So Ray will just turn around and hand it off to the offense. They'll set up in the power play.
Yeah, good job by Ray by recognizing that he wasn't going to get a good scoring opportunity. Better let the power play get out there. That's what they're out there to score for.
Monroe takes the pass back, shoots. That's off of Crawley. Heads up into the mesh. It's going to be Barrie ball with a fresh 30. Still 2:04 to go on the penalty to Giltinen. Barrie trying to take advantage of the major to put a couple of goals up. Scott up top, gives it to Monroe. He shoots again, turned aside by Crawley. There's a shot, another save by Crawley. Petrie knocked into the crease, but they're going to say a Barrie player was in there first. So Petrie takes possession and runs up along the boards. Just missed by Travis Bland. Spins and flattens another checker, Jason Crawford. Michael Gillen. Great run by Petrie. Gives it off to Keene. Keene's holding on to the ball now as they chase after him. Monroe gets a check on him, knocks it loose. Nedelko will knock it back in, but it was already out over the restraining line.
Yeah, Barrie was rather fortunate there. Mike Burke was left all alone in front of the net, and nobody from Barrie or Southwest saw him there.
So Barrie's back up on the power play still. 18 seconds on the shot clock. Just over a minute left in the penalty to Giltinen. Mason can't quite connect on the pass. There's another one that's knocked away by Nedelko. Nedelko hard after Brad Levick. Tell you, this Nedelko kid is a hard worker. Gets the 30-second shot clock, runs out. And the penalty coming for holding as Kranz is dragged to the floor.
And that'll end Barrie's power play.
Yeah, we'll go 4-on-4 for the next 45 seconds, barring more penalties. And then the Cyclops will have a man-up advantage of their own. Maudsley making his way over to the bench and to the penalty box, and he's got the slow walk of the man who got caught.
It's funny when you're losing and you have a penalty, your walk is always slower to the penalty box.
Mike Burke will start with the ball up at the top. 4-on-4 as we mentioned. Hesseltine over to Webster. Burke with the shot on the crease, knocked aside. Dineley's going to scoop it up into a stick in the crease. Makes the pass up. Going hard to the net. with the shot just a little bit wide there by Daryl Robertson. He's got some wheels. He had about 6 breakaways in the National Lacrosse League Combine scrimmage, and looked very impressive. Earned him the chance to get drafted in the National Lacrosse League. Didn't make a team, but he's certainly a guy who should prosper here in CLax as he gets used to it. Petrie goes to the net. He's stopped by Dineley. Dineley looks up the floor. There's nobody even outside the restraining line, so he'll make the short pass.
And now Barrie is shorthanded there for the next minute and 10 seconds.
Ross Smith trotting around towards the back of the net, reverses course. Cran's after him. He's going to get some help from McGregor. They flatten him. The ball pops loose, and McGregor zips around to get the ball. Smith takes a shot at him.
But good discipline by Southwest there not to retaliate. They had possession, and they're still on the power play.
Burke with the ball up top. Gives it over to Dan Keene, who has a hat trick for Southwest. There's a shot and a goal. Dan Keene's 4th of the game. Takes the pass from Burke and just rips it past Dineley.
Yeah,
through Dineley.
Through him. We've seen him with a couple sub shots early on, then a break down the middle there over his shoulder, and there's another one over his shoulder, but this one was on the side there, as you mentioned, through Donnelly's legs there. So just a power play goal. Now it's that 3 goals that it can either break open to 4 or get closer to 2, so the next goal is going to be important.
But sneaks by.
Yeah.
And Dineley on the replay looks like he looked heavenwards because he knew he was going the wrong direction on that shot.
Yeah.
Keene selected by the Vancouver Stealth in the NLL draft. Certainly teams will be looking at him down the road. Rob Koger's not quite sure why he had to give the ball up, but he does. He'll check Jordan Shepley, put some pressure on. We're back to 5-on-5, and Barrie is pressuring all the way up the floor. There's Boucher with a big hit on Dylan Webster. Webster just sloughs it off and makes the pass up top. Keene gets a pick from Shepley, goes across to Critch. Critch doesn't have anybody to pass to, so he's just going to make a few moves until somebody cuts open, and it's Keene. He gets hit by Gillen. Gets a shot off, but it's wide, and then the shot clock expires. Here come the Blizzard running the floor. Nice pass. Oh, just missing the shot was Robertson. A beautiful pass made there by Jason Crawford diagonally. They couldn't quite finish. Oh, we have a man down on the floor behind the play for Southwest. They're driving the length of the floor. Spanger has it. Dineley will scoop it up. And he's heading to the bench and in obvious pain.
And down at the other end there, Southwest just took an undisciplined penalty there, checking in the crease there. Dineley had the ball in the crease there, looking to make an outlet pass. And they just swatted out his stick there, and he'll serve 2 minutes or less there, and Barrie's back on the power play.
Yeah, that's Jake Kranz. Meanwhile, it's Travis Burton that is down. You can see him going to the floor. Looks like he may have taken a shot to the head or the shoulder. He started wandering towards the boards, not even heading to the right spot of the bench, so you got to wonder if he's a little dazed. Hopefully he's all right, but he went straight to the dressing room. There's a pass across, a little too hot for Mason to handle. Southwest Goss comes up with it. Instead of running away from Travis Bland, who's checking him, he just runs right into him. He says, "Go ahead, hit me again." Larry Goss is a big, strong guy. Has no problem with taking the check. He's got 2 men on him, still holding on to the ball. Trying to kill the time here. 6 seconds left on the shot clock. He comes out with it. Now he gets hit by Shane Scott.
Yeah, good job by Scott there to come down there and help out there. Still a minute in the power play there for Barrie.
Levick will head down low. He's got a few. I thought Levick had the ball. It was actually up top with Cam Monroe. Shane Scott's going to fire one, a low bouncer. We've seen him score plenty in this league from there, but Crawley was all ready for that one. Tries a little sneaky pass and loses the ball. Behind the back pass. Here come the Cyclops. Matt Spanger takes the pass. Shoots, misses. Just off of Dineley. Scooped up there by Mike Maudsley. Maudsley comes across to Mason. They'll set up on the power play again. Nedelko with great timing on that hit. Didn't phase Levick, though, who now cross-checks him. Now Nedelko goes right back at him. Nedelko not big, but he's got a big heart. Keene takes the pass. He's got a man down ahead of him, and Burke shoots. It's into the feet of Dineley, the save, and he scoops it up.
Yeah, you mentioned it was actually off the post and in his feet, so rather fortunate that it didn't find the back of the net there.
Burke checking Koger, now a stick swing by Keene. Can't knock it free, and Koger makes the pass over to the far side. Now it comes back to Mike Gillen. Gillen drives down, tries a shot past a few guys, hits nobody, and heads up into the mesh. Southwest possession. We're nearing the midway point of the fourth quarter. Southwest taking their time. They're back to 5-on-5. They're going to try and set things up. They get a shot right on the crease for Webster. He's stopped. Barrie gets it up into the offensive zone. Bounces away from Ray, but he gets it back. Nice job by Maudsley to cut that ball off before it could be picked up by Crawley, so it's still being battled for. Now they come up with it. He comes to the net and scores. Maudsley. There's a case where the hard work creates a goal, and the guy who did the hard work gets the goal itself.
Well, it's good to see that hard work rewarded there. You mentioned the hard work there. Could have easily been Southwest ball there. He could have took a step back and played some defense, but he gave that extra hustle there and came out. And now we've got some extra activities there on the floor still here. Looks like we're getting some more penalties here.
Yeah, Ross Smith and Alex Lubchuk will head over to the box, and they're going to have some words for each other as they make their way over there.
Yeah, I think they're talking where they're going to go for dinner after the game. But here we're going to go 4-on-4 there, which is advantage to Barrie there. They're trying to get back in, so they're going to have some open floor.
We're going to have the referee's timeout, and I'm going to maybe disagree with you because I think Southwest has maybe been running the floor a bit better, so maybe the advantage to them, except that they don't need to score again.
They don't, but time will tell there. 7 minutes we'll know who's right.
We'll see. We're going to take a quick break for the referee's timeout. We'll be back with the final act of this Canadian Lacrosse League game. No, we won't. We're not going anywhere. Brent McCauley is saying, line up, let's take the face-off. They've had their break. Okay, Dylan Webster and Michael Gillen will face it off. Gillen pulls it back, and it's scooped up by Griffiths. He gets it across to Boucher. Colin Boucher with the 4-on-4 is going to go up and play some offense. See if he can recreate his hat trick from a week ago by at least getting one goal. Here's Mason. Spanger slips off to pick him up. That ball is grabbed by Crawford. He's going to drive low but loses the ball. McGregor staying with him, hits him into the boards. 2 seconds to shoot, so Crawford dives, and it lands in the crease. It's going to be Southwest possession.
Now we're going to take the referee's timeout
now
here.
We'll take it. There we go. They don't take referees' timeouts on goals. So it was, despite the extracurriculars that led to the penalties, they didn't take it there. So now we'll take the quick break, and we'll be back with the final 6 minutes and 22 seconds or more of this Canadian Lacrosse League action.
All right, back again. Last time out here, we're going to throw it down to the floor to Stephanie once again. Thank you.
All right, fans, we have some toques to toss into the crowd courtesy of Garner's Source for Sports on Patterson Road. But if you want to toque, you have to stand up and make some noise for your Blizzard. So stand up and make some noise if you want to toque.
Mike Burke sprints down the floor with Colin Boucher all over him, makes a little pass across to Critch. Critch is going to try and drive down low. Spencer James watching him. Critch makes the pass. You know, it's fascinating. We've got Jeff Dowling, the director of lacrosse operations for the Canadian Lacrosse League, sitting down below us, and he's very animated, just like he was when he was coaching the Niagara Lock Monsters to the championship last year. So there have been several times where I've kind of wondered, you know, about a call or non-call, and I look down and he's kind of raising his hands at the same time. Here's a drive by Maudsley, steps back and gets a shot off. Nice job to get that shot past Burke, but it's stopped by Crawley, holding the fort. It's 12-10 Southwest. Barrie gets the ball. It's scooped up by Shane Scott. He's wrong-handed, switches over, shoots, save. Grant Crawley. Nice job by Scott to play left-handed for a bit and then managed to make the switch over. There's the pass down for Goss, but it's scooped away. Here comes Kevin Harper back up the other way. We saw a lot of him early in the game, not much lately. Gets a shot that is buried underneath Grant Crawley. Almost snuck that one through.
Yeah, Barrie just is running and running right now, but there's no results from their movement yet.
Just got to keep plugging away. They've got a little under 5 minutes here to try and get those 2 goals to at least force overtime.
So we're back to 5-on-5 now.
Yeah, the player's just coming out of the box. Smith knocks the ball loose from Hesseltine. Shepley is running back, gesticulating to Crawley, pointing at Smith, who had the ball. Smith takes the shot, and it's going to be Barrie possession again.
Well, I love the communication there. No thinking. Crawley knew exactly what he had to do.
There's Gillen with a shot, scores, bounces at 5-hole. The Blizzard are within 1.
Well, and there we see Crawley throw the ball and discuss there. He was not happy with himself. So the last 2 goals have gone in. Both goalies have not been happy with their results. But as you mentioned now, it's a 1-goal game. Just a simple ball movement there from the corner to the front of the net there. And then Barrie, the result is a goal for Barrie.
Gillen just gets away from the check by Brady Hesseltine, who slid right past him up higher. And Gillen just went to the net and buried it. They're within 1. Gillen's first goal back in CLax. Here's Burke with the ball off the face-off over to the far side. The cutter Spanger gets bounced aside by Gillen. He's having a solid game for the Blizzard. His first goal as he's rewarded for all the work. Jake Kranz makes the pass over the far side, and Burke shoots. Donnelly was ready for it, though. Ross Smith trying to fight his way through a check. Throws a big hit, but Southwest comes out with possession. Petrie sprinting around behind the net, passes out to Keane, and they'll slow things down a little bit. Lubchuk was heading for the bench, so he takes the pass and then just keeps things moving. Now Nedelko comes out. He'll stay in the defensive zone as Barrie comes up with it. Take away the transition chance. Ross Smith looking back in his own end. He's flattened into the boards by Keane. Southwest comes up with the ball.
Yeah, he's flattened and he's slow to get up to.
Dan Keane, who's got 4 goals, using the body as well. Here's Hesseltine. He cuts through 2 players but doesn't stay standing. Here come the Blizzard. It was 2-on-1, but DJ Nedelko just sprinting back into a defensive position to take away the transition chance. Here's Levick trying to drive to the net. He's turned aside by Shepley. Oh, a quick pass and a quick shot by Mason. Touch pass by Monroe, touch shot by Mason.
Yeah, it was, like you said, very quick. I blinked, I missed the pass there. It was that quick. Now the ball's in the crowd. Southwest going to get possession again.
Blair Goss takes it. He's watched by Robertson. Pass across, all the way across the floor. Spencer James watching Burke. Burke tried to make the pass at a kind of an odd angle. See if he could surprise the goalie. Couldn't get it to Goss, whose shot goes way wide. Spanger picks it up. Burke has it with 9 seconds on the shot clock. There's a shot, and Robertson flattened the shooter, Kyle Childerhose. Critch gets it before center.
Yeah, they reset the clock incorrectly there. I heard the Barrie bench yelling there.
And Barrie gets the ball. It was definitely 30 seconds expired. So Barrie takes possession. 2:18 to get the goal they need to force overtime. Pass to the cutter. Harper just throws it back out top. Didn't think he had a shooting chance. Robertson gets a pick from Bland. He's covered by Goss. Now he cuts to the middle, shoots, misses. Spanger gets it. Griffith's covering him, but Spanger's running away from him. Oh, off the post, and he runs over Donnelly. Griffiths is going to go after him, but he says to Donnelly, should I take him? Donnelly says, nope, go get a goal.
Yeah. Much more important there. Good discipline there by the Barrie players there.
Blizzard half possession, 20 seconds on the shot clock. Maudsley cuts through the middle. It's the second cutter that gets the ball. He can't control it. Mason fighting for the loose ball, though, but Dan Keene goes after it. Mason gets it, comes to the net. Nobody takes him. The shot goes off of Crawley. Another 30 for Barrie. 1:23 to play. That one's intercepted by Lubchuk, but it bounces away from him into the Southwest bench. It will be Barrie possession with 1:14 to go. The clock's still running, and Barrie's not too happy about that. Now Barrie takes a timeout. And Brad MacArthur will just look at his sheet, figure out what he wants to do, and have a chat with his players. He's a very calm presence on the bench.
Well, no doubt they're going to pull Donnelly here. They'll run a 6-on-5, and I'll look for an outside shot, either Levick or Shane Scott to shoot.
I'm not 100% that they are pulling Donnelly because he hasn't gone into the bench. He's at the bench, but he's having some water and standing out on the floor.
Yeah.
So we'll see whether they do.
See, I'm looking at the other end. I see 6 Barrie forwards on the floor.
Yeah.
So one of us is right and the other one has an excuse to be wrong.
I don't think there's any right or wrong about it. I think they just I'm not sure Donnelly even knows yet whether they're pulling him. There's 1:06 left in the game. It's really a I don't know if there's a book on pulling him this early. It seems a bit early with a 1-goal difference, but this way you could get a couple of chances.
Well, I like having the extra guy out there to get a loose ball. If you run the 30, don't get a good shot, the other team almost runs out the whole 30, and you've only left with 6-7 seconds left on the shot clock there. So I would pull him, but I'm not the coach.
And Donnelly is staying. There are 6 forwards heading out. So there you go. He listened to you.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm right and sometimes I'm not.
Shane Scott will start with the ball up top. Brings it to Maudsley, straight back to Scott. Spanger up top on the defense. He's going to slide down now as there's a lot of movement. Barrie running guys through the middle. John Mason mostly is cutting back and forth. There's a shot by Maudsley. Looked like the ref called for a reset, but there was none. Doesn't matter, though, as Crawley grabs the loose ball as it bounced away from Mason. And here's the downside of it. Mike Burke will bury one into the empty net, make it 13-11 with 37.4 seconds left to play. And that will be just about enough for Southwest to be able to celebrate. They've still got to get through these final 37 seconds.
Well, certainly 37 seconds with 2-goal lead. I would bet on Southwest, but don't bet against Barrie because it's still lots of time in lacrosse.
It is enough time. They have to win the face-off, basically.
I must, and that's why I would pull the goalie and get my 6th player out there to get that loose ball.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they've sent Donnelly back in. I mean, it's a question. Now there's a timeout to Southwest, actually, and we'll see as Donnelly comes over whether he stays now and Barrie decides to go after it. But
well, I just feel it's so important to get that extra body out there because if Southwest gets the ball, the game is over. And Barrie needs that extra player to get that ball and have a chance to score the 12th and then think about the 13th after that. So from my standpoint, if I'm coaching, I'm leaving 6 guys out there. But we'll see what Barrie does and then how Southwest counterreacts to that there. You know, we see a little pat in the back to Crawley there. He's played a great game for Southwest, and there's 37 seconds left to go here.
all right, we're just about to get back underway. We'll see what happens. Face-off is lining up. Dineley is on the floor. Gillen battling. He comes up with it. No, he left it behind. And Southwest gets the ball. Lubchuk has it. He's getting hit by Boucher. Boucher tosses him into the boards. Still harassing, but Lubchuk just running away with the ball. Now it's knocked free. Boucher comes up with it. They've got 17 seconds. They're going to have to get the ball up the floor. Score in a hurry. Dineley's at the bench. Here comes Mason. 12 seconds, 11 seconds. They're going to get a shot off. No, they fake. Pass it down low. They've got to get a shot, but the ball bounces free. Modulin will shoot. That one almost gets through. Goes off the foot of Crawley and off the post. And time will run out on the Barrie Blizzard. They will fall 13-11 to the Southwest Cyclops in what was a very exciting 60 minutes of Canadian lacrosse action.
Well, it virtually went right down to the last 59 minutes and 30 seconds, basically, of lacrosse there, with Southwest scoring that late goal there to win by 2, but it could have gone either way there. Some timely saves, some great defense, and even better shooting there was the difference there for Southwest.
We're going to have our 3 stars shortly for you. Angus Dineley is heading to the middle of the floor to start the handshake line. Grant Crawley will meet him. The goalies union is in full effect as they share a hug to start the line. There's Eric Giltonen, who got tossed from the game. He's back out to take part in the handshakes. That was quite a battle. Barrie getting down early, fought their way back in, but we talked about the energy when they got down 7-2, fought back to 7-6, gave up some more goals, fought back into it. We talked about how much energy it takes to keep making those comebacks, and in the end, Southwest just had a little bit more down the stretch. Yeah,
and hats off to Southwest there. They came here, long bus trip, and they came out with the result that they came here for.
We're going to give you our 3 stars of the game, as selected by the media at this Canadian Lacrosse League contest. That's you and me, Ron.
Yeah, well, I voted for this guy, Dylan Webster. I thought he had a heck of a game there, especially in the first half there. He made some pressure plays, no goals or assists, but what he did, he forced Barrie to make some bad passes early, and that transition is where Southwest built their early lead. Yeah, Webster a real grinder today for him. The second star with a hat trick for the Barrie Blizzard, Brad Levick. And we were thinking about him or Shane Scott. They both scored some big goals, both did some good things otherwise, but Levick really with the finishing touch. Yeah, he got Barrie going with the first 2 goals there for the Barrie team, and like you said, he had some big shots there. Could have gone either way. And our first star, we were in total agreement here. Dan Keene, 4 goals, and we talked about how he did some good things, laying the body on as well. Just had a very strong initial, his debut outing in the Canadian Lacrosse League, coming out of the draft, and a tremendous effort for those guys. Congratulations to the Southwest Cyclops on opening up the season with a win. And that will do it for today's action from the Barrie Molson Center. I'm Stephen Stamp with Ron Ruff. For the entire crew, thank you so much for being with us. We'll see you next time. All right. Remember, join us on JVI Sports Network next week as these Barrie Blizzard will head to Durham. We've seen Durham play very well yesterday, and certainly Barrie got back into this game. That is next week, Saturday, January the 17th, a 2 o'clock start, 1:55 Eastern time for the show. Matthew Carrick will be on play-by-play. I, Stephen Stamp, will have the color commentary as Ron Ruff was doing today. Well, thank you, and I'll be watching, live streaming the game because I'm looking forward to seeing that game. Excellent. It should be a lot of fun. I know Durham's looking forward to having Barrie come down, and the Blizzard certainly will want to get onto the winning column after they have lost their season opener here today. So once again, thank you so much for being with us. I'm Stephen Stamp with Ron Ruff, and we'll see you next week when the Blizzard face the Turf Dogs.